All right. Good morning, everybody. Hope you have yourselves a fantastic start to your Friday. And yeah, you're ready for what should hopefully be an interesting end to the week here. Hopefully, we get some nice, clean price action and we, yeah, kind of build out from there. I guess my priority, right, for today, or my, I don't know, kind of my approach for today's session is for this to be a really strong, just we'll call it capital preservation Friday, right? It's been a good week, but it's also been like a little bit of a kind of felt like a long one for me from that perspective. A lot of things happened this week, right? We had the streak come to the end. We had the start of a new one. We had some really, really slow and grindy price action. We had a trade that we closed, 5 seconds before like 100 point dump. We had like yesterday, I had a missed take profit, right? So there's a lot of events that have happened here this week. A lot of like tests almost, right, that have happened here this week. And really the priority, right, is to make sure that I'm finishing the week on kind of like a positive note. The positive note is not like any P&L based objective. Like, that's not really what I mean by that. From a positive note, I want to I think, like, want the market to feel fun today, right? In a certain way, like, I would like today's session to be kind of like one of those days where it's, you find your flow state type thing. You feel sharp. You feel kind of like really focused in, and you're trading your system and your rules, and you're not allowing like those, call it like other events, right, to influence then your decision making. For me, that's, I think, kind of where I went wrong yesterday. I went a little bit too aggressive, hunting for a number, and I think that was probably a symptom of, yeah, just probably being a little bit exhausted after a pretty pretty intense week here. So obviously excited to be trading here. Looking forward to seeing what the market has in store. And hopefully, right, we can really take advantage of whatever momentum is out here for us today. Don't have anything too crazy from an economic calendar perspective. Maybe the 10 a.m. data here today could slow us down a little bit. But that'll be okay. And then today with crude, right, we also have their futures roll, or its futures roll. So won't be trading this again here today. And let's see, right, where conditions are at, and then let's go from there. So hopefully everyone's having a fantastic start to the AM. And yeah, let's get after it. So ES, what's the count here? Let's start there and let's build it out. Yeah, 2 out of 3 here to the upside without volume. Now, yesterday was a pretty interesting day. If we look at price action here from a shorter kind of time frame, talk about it more on NQ, but effectively was kind of like breakout, pullback, continue all day. I know he's waiting for it, Mike. It's crazy. Like I don't know, Jack. He must like have it copy pasted on a document or something. Um, but it was a really impressive like move higher. It was such a climb, but the volume was so pathetic, right? Like I think if I'm looking at that candle shape and I'm looking at that volume profile, I'm kind of being told the story that the candle is really strong, right? The momentum is really strong. I'm surprised that we didn't see more participation, especially once we broke out through that all-time high. Then the other element here, right, is we weren't able to close above previous highs. It's kind of a fake out above, and we're potentially setting up a little bit for that here this AM. So I want to be cautious basically and see if momentum, right, establishes at 63.50, right, or those all-time highs. which is just a nice way of saying that I would like to see volume step in and basically reclaim control here to indicate that I've got some sort of element of momentum, right? That could be in either direction here this morning. Fake out above ATH would be a great setup trigger. But I still think that our primary trend here is to the upside, and I would like to see that momentum show back up. So, what that's telling me, right, is that maybe it's like a day of consolidation here, catch your breath before the move happens. And we'll be able to effectively like break out of that indecision or break out of that quote unquote zone of consolidation if we can see a very impressive volume standard. Does that make sense? So we do that in a couple ways, right? Generally, we'll look at that like first candle of the time frame, right? So we're looking at the 3-min time frame. We'll want to see the opening 3-min candle be larger than yesterday, right? If we're on the 5-min, the opening 5-min candle being larger than yesterday, right? Stuff like that. And then we can look at it also from like a balance of powers. So if like the opening 30 minutes, right, gives us more volume than yesterday's opening 30 minutes, that could also then be that sort of indication for us. Our starting point here is going to be 6360. I don't need to change too much there. And then we're going up towards 6400. If we break out past that area, we're going to be stoked, right? Because we've been in a great trade. But then we can just map it out 10 points along the way. So no big deal. And then we're looking pre-market lows 6340, and we'd probably be going down to like 6300. Yeah, audio should be working. All right, sorry about that. I can't type and talk. ORB fake out at all-time high, then break down towards pre-market lows. So that's 6340. And then we're going down to like 6300, right? Cool. All right, NQ. So similar thing, probably the I guess kind of two distinct differences, right? On NQ, we held above the previous fake out high, right? So we held above in this circumstance, right? Tuesday's high. So that for me is a positive. Maybe a slightly more impressive volume profile, right? I would say ES looks weaker, right? Volume wise, significantly compared to NQ. Now, our leading names, right, are kind of pushing the charge here on this. We'll talk about a few of them in a couple moments. But this is, again, I would say probably the stronger setup here to the upside. And again, I had a bias, right, on ES that it's still kind of a bit more bullish for sure, more so on NQ. And like, yes, it's my favorite ticker to trade, but I also think relative to what we're looking at on ES, this is definitely giving me the better foundation or the better backdrop here to the upside. Maybe ES ends up giving me the better scenario here to the downside. I want to see tech strength here, right? So this is a move being driven by leading names, right? So by the Teslas, by the Nvidias, by the AMDs of the world. So they basically continue to be strong. I think that's going to be the catalyst, right, for me to be willing to continue to go higher. To the upside here, we're looking at a 23,300, sorry. And then we got it up towards 24,000. Fine. And then to the downside, we'd be looking for a move down towards 23K. And again, this could be a little bit of a fake out scenario here too. If we're going to go downside, I think ES is better. But we'll see what information changes, right, once markets open. And then we're looking 23.2, 23.1, 23. And then next kind of point of contact there is 23, right? So next one on that trend line, 22.8. So 22.9, 22.8. So that's plenty of room for us here in either direction. Should be okay. Again, crude doing its futures roll here today. So I'm not going to trade this or do prep for it. Just operationally not going to be worth the hassle. Okay, Apple inside bar. So consolidation breakout. No, not really, Chandler. For me, like this kind of this 3 for 3 system gives me a pretty good context of what I think the market is going to do. So no, I don't have too much else to look at. The other thing, pretty much everything that you're seeing me do here right now is me looking at the market for the first time. So yeah, like I wake up at 5:30, go walk the dog, make a cup of coffee, and then jump on. And so this is kind of always my first view of what the market is doing. Okay, Tesla 1 for 3 here. Oops. Turns to the downside. Microsoft 3 for 3, cool. Amazon inside bar. Kind of a sneaky trend day there from the indexes, right? If I mean, a lot of these names, right, gave us consolidation. Nvidia 3 for 3. AMD 2 out of 3 without volume to the downside. And we'll call this a weak one, right? Because that candle shape is pretty pathetic. Meta, same thing. Sorry, 1 for 3, not the same thing. And we call that a weak, though, 1 for 3. Netflix, decent earnings. I mean, the implied move here, I think, was like 8%. So didn't come quite close to that. Market makers win again, or option sellers, I should say. But this would be a pretty typical buy the dip spot here post earnings. Okay, Google, green candle, decreasing volume, big gap up. And then the old Vixaruni, right? Implied range of 16.41. So again, that's kind of the volatility we've been dealing with here all week. We do finally have like that consolidation breakout, right? That we've been waiting for here for what has felt like ages. So hopefully, right, we can get another clean kind of trend date here this morning. Any questions? How we feeling? All right, fantastic. So let's have ourselves a heck of a day here, team. No, I trade the futures, right? So I trade ES and NQ. So ES is the equivalent of the S&P 500 cash CFD, maybe that you're trading, and NQ is the equivalent of Nasdaq. So I trade the futures derivative of that ticker or of those tickers. Morning, Marco. All right, let's mark it open. So again, we're looking for volume here today, right? We're trying to judge what the level of enthusiasm is. The more enthusiastic and consistent today's narrative becomes, the easier it is for us to be aggressive and to take advantage of it. All right. And so far, we're seeing some early dip buyers. Not a massive range here either. 35 points so far. It's okay. We've been moving in 70-point handles. Like that's not unreasonable, but hmm, that's not interesting. Right, so far, we're basically watching 300 act as our resistance here on NQ. It's 304. So let's see. Seems like it appears to be decent volume here. ES as well, right? Larger volume by a significant portion. So we wanted to see that volume show up. So far, it has. That's pretty positive. Question is, I don't know if we have a very clear directional winner here yet. Again, couldn't quite close above 300 on that attempt. I think that's maybe a little bit of something to be wary of. Like if a psychological level fails on its first attempt, it's generally not probably the strongest. Oh, I'm just missing a word here. Okay, back to 300. So let's see if this thing closed on the 5 above it. A better. Okay, still not able to hold 300. Hmm. Not quite sure if this was the open I necessarily expected here yet. At least not after that volume showed up. Once that volume was impressive. Thought maybe we're going to see a little bit more enthusiasm, but it doesn't really feel like that yet. Or I expected maybe to see a little bit more aggression. $75 versus 246. This is our first attempt from ES to the downside here. Let's see. I mean, if this can't give us increasing volume here on the 3 min, that would be very, very pathetic. Let's keep an eye still. You might have a little bit of a shot clock on this position, right? I don't know if I would want to be holding this through an orange folder. That would probably be a little bit spooky. And there's the fake out potentially. Hmm. Yeah, again, it also doesn't look like it's going to go increasing volume. So it's almost feeling as if all the volume was just in that first candle, right? I've also said that word so many times here this morning. It's starting to sound weird in my head. Again, right? That's not going to go increasing here. I mean, maybe. I mean, it'd be a miracle. But ES is particularly pathetic. 5 mins aren't going to get there. A disappointing volume standard. So we might have to wait a little bit here this morning now. Right. The early indications of that momentum that we saw, they've kind of disappeared a little bit. I feel like I've seen this before. Right. Yes, giving the better reaction though on this equivalent move for now. So interesting. again, like, does seem like the volume is, we're not going to get like we're going to get increasing, but we're not going to get outlier on this. So like it's drying up so fast, right? Well, option expiration would give us more volume, right? Like that would be actually pretty reasonable. I mean, I didn't see that it was OPEX here today. I could be wrong. I don't really go look for that. Generally, though, right? We're gonna. I mean, you'd expect to see a lot more volume on an OPEX day. Yeah, hopefully we can have a good trading day. Brady, welcome. Yeah. Well, it also kind of looked a little bit like a fake out in the pre-market too, right? None of the prices as we were creeping up closer and closer to open were above yesterday's high. Oh yeah, that is a little bit suspicious. Maybe that sign of weakness is one more of inaction than action. I guess that's probably the biggest concern here, right? Is that it just ends up being a pretty slow moving day. Like yesterday was a little bit of an outlier, right? From just like a general markets context. I'm not complaining about it, but well, maybe yesterday was the big trend day of the week. Again, I didn't even go increasing volume. I was convinced it was going to. We're getting in the background here a lot of dings for mean reversion setups. I'm not super motivated to trade them to the downside here, especially not on NQ. The compression is too much. Like I do feel to a certain extent like at least right now the price action is telling me to slow down pretty significantly. It also feels like time is moving in slow motion. It's, you know, we've been open for 15 minutes and it kind of feels like I've been watching for 30. Well, that's always a weird one. Thing is though, right? Like how many cracks lower can these bears have before it's just like pathetic that they can't break down lower? Maybe this is like the longer term bearish failure of the morning. All right, so we're seeing a little bit of momentum here. Not going to get to outlier on ES. Maybe on NQ. I'd like it to stick out though a little bit. The reason for that, right? We've stalled already at 300. So like that's like, a little pop over. I'd rather to see if this could go significantly over here on the 5. This 3 min, like just contextually based on what I've seen, I would like to see 300 act as support, or at least not be so primed to feel like I'm going to get instant rejected at that level. Again, I think I'm going to be very, very patient here. So that there that we just saw, right? If you're visualizing things, that would be an elevator down. Again, that was kind of like an elevator down. Like when it drops, let's say like a couple points at a time, right? Where the move isn't smooth, that's an elevator, right? Like there we went from 290, 250, let's say. Let's see where this goes. 293, and it's going like tick to tick higher, right? And then it drops, went from 88 to 86 right in a tick. So it's like the moves lower are faster than the moves higher. Again, right? Probably good vindication, right? To have been patient. Yeah, maybe. We are expecting that to be a potential catalyst for us, right? It's a orange folder, so for sure could be in play. It also makes it a little bit challenging to take a trade before that because you have a 10-minute shot clock, right? Which is a reasonable enough amount of time. But into a high impact news event, that's a little bit scarier. We also haven't seen a clean move here yet. So thinking that a clean move is going to happen in the next 10 minutes is also maybe a little bit too aggressive. Okay, back trying here maybe. Would have stopped us out for sure. Ooh. There we go. There's something. I was like a jolt of espresso here this morning. We'd like to see it hold under 257. But again, we're now going to have 6 minutes to be able to execute this thesis. I don't think that that's enough time. This candle's the exception, right? Versus everything else we've seen here so far today. Pretty much every other candle's been a slow mover and shaker, not exactly something that has been consistently moving aggressively. So if that's the case and I have a shot clock on this, I think I need to be slowing down, not trying to like, ooh, I got 6 minutes, I can make a bunch of money. I think that's probably unlikely, or it's going to make it really hard for me to realistically hit my profit target. So if that's the case, right now all my risk calculations are different, and there's a lot of extra variables that I'm going to struggle to account for. I don't think I'm going to push like that. With the way those candles close, though, maybe it looks a bit like a capitulation type move. Quite an aggressive fake out. All right, 5 minutes to go here. Better close probably on the 5 minute than it was on the 3. Not by a lot, but a little bit better. Sorry. The one thing I cannot get enough of here the last day is the guy who lost 50% of his net worth at the Coldplay concert. I have never seen someone fold under pressure so crazily before. All-time internet clip. With some guy who's like cuddling up with his what looks like his wife or his girlfriend at like a concert, and at a Coldplay concert, and the video cuts to him, and it's him and his mistress, and they like panic and they all duck out of the way. And yeah, it turns out it's the CEO, and she's the head of HR. Kiki, she's the head of HR, and then they're just living their best life on the side. Oh man. I can't stop laughing at it. It's so funny. Yeah, she's so red. uh oh man, I went on their website yesterday. I wanted to see what their data solutions were. Oh, it's so funny. Feels like the goal in life is to never be the main character on Twitter. They were yesterday the main character on Twitter. It's unbelievable. No, and when you go to a concert, you sign a bunch of waiver forms and release forms so they can film you, right? Like, this guy's so off base. It's so funny. I'm not apologizing for having an affair. I'm apologizing for being caught and for my privacy being invaded. All right, so buck 50 here. Let's see. And we're looking for a high conviction reaction here post data. Yeah, I can't blame her. Oh, 100%. 100%. If he didn't just absolutely just panic and fold under pressure, no one would have known. That's the most famous affair of all time. It's so funny. Yeah. Oh, I bet there were people who knew. Must have been. Okay, let's see. Data reaction. Certainly was one. Yeah. That isn't the right way to put it, Mike. I don't know what well. So ES did a fake out higher and lower. That's kind of douchey. Yeah. I mean, my favorite thing is all the speculation people are doing. Like, I've seen all the fan fiction. Like, this guy's apparently he met his wife, or she was his mistress at a Coldplay concert. I'm ready to believe any and every possible scenario here with this fella. Big move. I wouldn't say a ton of volume though. Like, I probably would have thought that we'd be at increasing pretty much after that first pop. A little bit better on ES. Kind of unenthusiastic. Like so far, suspicious and pointless price action, right? Oh man. That's one thing I don't understand. I mean, could be. I guess you could look at it as a liquidity sweep type move. Right now, I'm waiting for some sort of setup trigger to come together. I don't know if we've got an obvious look here yet. Basically, we've just pretty much seen just a really slow, indecisive open. So we're looking for a breakout from that consolidation. You know, price action for the last, we'll say, 27 minutes, right? Not really moved much. So not really looking for anything until price action really separates away from this range. No, I didn't. Sounds like something I'm gonna have to watch with a glass of wine here this evening. Yeah, so far no real reason to be super aggressive. Maybe NQ here on this 5 min could be what's given us an opportunity. Separating away from this opening range. We just like to see it close under previous low of day. We do have the volume standard, so we're basically just looking for confirmation, right, from a candle shape perspective. So we want to see this thing close as a second most bearish here, right? It's better than ES. ES isn't under that fake out low. Okay, give me a strong close here. 8 points. Not the strongest. It's okay. I mean, look, ideally we want the aggressive entry technique here, right? Because a pullback where you have to use a stop loss at 297 just starts to get too scary. So 251 probably looks like my stop loss could be. I'll call it 250. Okay, let's call it 252. Keep it simple. And we're looking for a breakdown here under 240 and then a gentle retest of that price. Okay, there's that little breakdown. Let's see if we can get a gentle pullback here. Not gentle yet. See if this thing wants to try again. But not a great initial first reaction, right, to making that 240 touch. So going to be patient here. Okay, let's watch again. Okay, now we're looking, guys. Come on. Okay, I am in 244 short, two contracts, stop loss 252. Bit more stubborn than I would like. Okay, took the stop minus 340. Yeah, that little quick fake out reversal, that's been burning me a couple times this week. This thing really want to keep setting up here. Could just be another downside pop setup. Kind of a frustrating fake out. To be looking at here, right? Be looking at the 10-min time frame this time. Okay, so stop loss would be 254 here. ES is breaking down, which makes me think NQ is going to follow suit. Question is just where is the appropriate entry? Problem with ES, right? There's just always a little bit of a compromise here, right? That confirmation candle didn't close under previous low, which is why I'm focusing on NQ versus ES. Okay, so we're watching here, right? And we're looking now for a gentle pullback. Like I said, stop loss would be 254. So a gentle pullback here. I just missed my fill. Trying to get 242. Let's see if it comes back towards that range. Just got to reset my order here. Fuck. I literally just missed it. Hopefully some of you guys got in there. I'll be able to play this on the 15 if it sets up. Still in play. Same concept. Again, we'd prefer the aggressive entry technique here, right? Don't want to see this thing pull back very much. We want strong trending PA. So reference price would be 225, right? Low of my confirmation candle. And then we're just looking for a pullback, and we don't want this pullback to be more than 25 points. Not going to be by the looks of it. So stop loss here would be 237. Okay, so again, watch for the gentle pullback here now. Come on. I couldn't find exit there or an entry there. Sorry. If you guys are in this trade, you're in really good position, right? Make sure you're focusing on closing as your P&L is increasing, not decreasing, please. They still might give me a chance. If this thing pulls into my blue line area, guys, I'm just going to give it an extra second to breathe, right? Let's go, Nick. Nice work. Nice work, Herschel. Yeah, that's the entry I was trying to get. Just missed it. Well, if a continuation sets up, Nick, right, you can always get back in. So you don't have to catch an entire move just with one trade. It can take you more than one. Yeah, I mean, we're watching all the various time frames now. On the 1 min, we got a target 190, or sorry, on the 3 min, we got target 190. We don't have a ton of space on that one. I'd be more looking at the 5, or ideally still preferably on the 15 here. It's only got to pull back 10 points, which is very reasonable. But the 3 min, it's just too tight to that 189. I don't think I'd be able to get the appropriate risk reward there. Maybe. Close. Really close. It's 4 points of risk. It's interesting. I would think that this fakes out first. Yeah, okay, it just did. So if that's the case, right, I'm going back to the 15. And I'm looking at this, right? I need 5 extra points here for a possible entry. So again, stop loss would be 37. Let's see how it pulls back, right? Let's see how it pulls back here. It's got to be a gentle kind of pull back into that 24, 25 area. So far, not so gentle. So just give it a second. Okay, good reactions. Now I want to see a little pullback. Hey guys, I'm in short 224.50, 224.50. I could have gotten a better entry. It's two contracts. I'm thinking about getting out of this a little bit right away. There's a bad reaction post rejection. Yeah, I needed to have waited an extra 30 seconds. All right, let's see if it's still a good enough thesis. It's a little bit early on my entry. That's the thing that's really sticking out to me here. I could have gotten a much better entry. Yeah, there's my stop. Kind of knew that was coming after the fake out lower. Again, mean with the fake out. That's life. Ah, that's so annoying. Nice, Jamie. You're in really good shape. Congratulations. Let's go. Honestly, I want to see these candles go green, I think. Price does seem to be stalling here a little bit. It's been stuck at this 20 handle for 15 minutes. Yeah, I would say your reasonable target for those of you who are still holding, right, is watch this reaction around 200. Being able to close there, I think, would be a fantastic spot. I was trying to figure out a little bit how I got faked out like that again. Nice work, Ian. It's kind of a bit of a funky day. I guess the point right here is like, A, not to feel sorry for myself, right? Missed my entry on the trade. That probably would have paid me quite a bit. Got faked out then, right, on the subsequent setup after attempting to catch that same move. Really easy to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm owed money here today, like all this kind of stuff. It's not the reality. Shit happens. I'm gonna miss trades. I'm gonna miss opportunities. I'm gonna do whatever. It's all really just a part of it. So what I can't allow, right, is for that sensation or for that stress or for that anxiety, right, to make me feel as if oh, okay, now I need to do something. Like walking away down $680 would be a pretty good outcome here, all things considered. Making $680, right, would be a good outcome here, right? All things considered. It's about controlling the quality of my decisions, not allowing $600, right, to change my entire life perspective and force me to now go crazy, right, trading away. I'm willing to keep trading price action, right, that adequately matches my risk protocols, but I'm not just going to take a setup just so I make the money back that I feel like I'm owed. That's a bullshit limiting thought. And so would really recommend, right, that you guys fight back against that. If the market is strong, it'll give us another chance to enter, and hopefully we can just not get faked out, right? Like just happened to us there. But that's a part of the game. It's going to happen to every trader on every strategy in every market conditions. So can't make it personal, right? Here we've got a setup now through 23.2, right? So we can target and move towards 23.1. And look at this on the shorter time frames here as well. So we are back in business here. So as long as my risk is good and my setups are triggering, I will try to trade every setup I can, right? We could also look at this here on the pullback entry technique. Probably be looking around that like previous low as my resistance here on this. So stop loss on this, right, would be 225. And we'd be looking for a move, a little bit above this 210 here. Hey guys, I am in short 211 on the dot, 211 on the dot. There it goes. So let's see if this thing can finally break down here and give me a payout. 2 contracts on this position. Stop loss at 224. So I'm risking 13 points a contract here. All right, so let's see if this thing can flush. There we go. Now we want to see it to really push here under 200. A little bit bouncy. Let's see if it can crush. They flush. I don't know where crush came from. Okay, now watch for a big move here, guys. What we're looking for. Right, we want to see a breakdown under this candle, right? So we want to see a breakdown under this blue line. So let's see if it can happen here. Hopefully a few of you are in this as well with me. That pullback I don't like. See if it dies at 200. Otherwise, I'm going to get out. Good rejection. All right, now we need to see this thing break down under 190. The more that it fucks around, the less I want to be in it. Sorry for the language. Oh, well, good luck, Rusty. All right, so again, see if this thing can flush under 190. That's kind of what we're cheering for here. Struggling a little bit. I'm on. Technically increasing volume, I think. So I gotta start looking or thinking about an exit here, team. Come on. All right. So again, let's see if we can get under that 200. That will be my exit trigger if I can get it. Doesn't seem to want to cooperate, so I might have to get out sooner than that. Let's see. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Come on. Push, push, push. Man, this is a stubborn move. Still working here, right? Still working here. Sorry, I'm trying to very focus in on what's going on. Sorry. Not doing a great job of communicating. So let's see if this thing can flush. This has got to be our moment here, right? We've survived too many near-death experiences. Oh, very quick bounce. Hmm. Tell you what, I'm happy I don't have more contracts than I do. All right, come on. And that 211 is a freaking magnet. I get an executionable flush under 200. Come on. Taking far too long, though. It's taking far too long. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey guys, I've been stopped out there. Took a second for me to get the notification. Frustrating session. Again, another looks like a potential fake out here. Theme of the day, right? A little bit. Ugh. Nice work, Rusty. Oh, fuck. Name set up. So stop here would be 218. All right, I'm back in short, 211. Same price, of course. 3 contracts here. Stop loss 218. Come on, survive. Yeah, I've been stopped out again here. I'm gonna probably call it for the day. I'm getting not rewarded. Fuck. There's no one I wanted on a Friday. All right, team. Any questions here today? Any questions? Yeah, I got stopped at 218 too, Patrick. That's not weird at all. You have to remember, right? I have to check every single one of my accounts to make sure everything has been triggered. So I'm very confident I got executed at the same price as you did. Guys, don't galaxy brain stuff, please. I don't have the energy for this. I get stopped out at the price I tell you. There's not much I can do about it. If you get filled with that and I don't, not much I can do about it. These are in simulated environments, right? Like your prop firm that you're trading your evaluation in is not dependent on market makers or on anything. It's just a data feed that you're getting inside your prop firm account. So if 218 hits in your prop firm account, it's going to fill. If 218 hits in anyone's prop firm accounts, gonna fill. So please don't galaxy brain it. There's literally nothing there that would create the difference. So minus 1660.27 here. So still a nice green week, but gave away a lot of profits here today. Frustrating. Any other questions here, team? Any other questions? And just to clarify there, Patrick, right? The language I used when I stopped out was I got stopped out there at that 218. Right. So again, that's acknowledging that I got stopped out at the same price as you. But no, Patrick, that's what I'm saying. I did get stopped out at the same time and at the same price as you, right? It's not like my data feed is 10 points different than yours or something along those lines. No, man, we get the exact same prices at the exact same time, and there are no other market influencers, right, that are going to differentiate those prices. So it's a prop firm, right? When you're doing your evaluation or you're trading in a sim funded account, it's not real orders going to market, right? They do that once you go live. So if it's not real orders going to market, the only thing that can stop you out is if price hits. Futures are a singular data feed. So price hits at the exact same time for every single person. So when it hits 218 on my screen, it's going to hit 218 on your screen at the same time, at the same price. Just because I don't say it that exact fucking second doesn't mean I didn't get stopped out at that moment. All right, guys. Anything else? I'm done. Anything else? All right. Have yourselves a great weekend, guys.